Awesome. Good afternoon. I'm Beth Copeland with Georgia Christian Business Network, and we're putting God back in business. It's such a wonderful day. It's Transformation Tuesday. And do we have a treat for you today? Dr. Julia Skeete. Yes, my dear friend, our charter member. He's been with us all the way back 15 years that we'll celebrate on December 5th. And he's already committed that he and his lovely wife, Susan, will be in our midst. And I'm so excited because I'm just going to have to tell you, we've been through some things together, haven't we?
We
And
have. It's been a blessing. It's
it's
been
been a
definitely a
blessing.
blessing.
Dr. Ski, welcome back because you're familiar. This isn't your first pony road ride, even on the virtual platform. You've been here numerous times, but you've
Yes.
been to so many networking meetings. If I know you probably don't even know the number, and you know the varying locations we've been for the Gwinnett chapter when we started out, and boy, did we go through some things. But this morning, I would like to once again say welcome, but before you get started in your presentation, may I ask of you to introduce yourself? Tell the people why I'm so excited that you're a part of our network because you're so awesome. Tell them what you do
Well,
and why, why it's important for them to know as well. Okay?
folks, God bless. Thanks. I'm honored to be here again. I'm Julia Skeete. I'm an optometrist. Eye doctor. I've been practicing now, gosh, it'll be 35 years. Started here in Georgia back in 2000, and I've had several practices here. My practices are next to Lens Crafters, and we started off in Gwinnett Place Mall, and we went through the Gwinnett days and had that office, and then also purchased an office here in Gainesville. We sold that office back right before COVID and just kept this office in Gainesville. So we're here in the growing area of Gainesville. And actually, we just moved this office 6 months ago. So it's a brand spanking new spot. As I said, I've been a charter member of GCBN, and I will have to say to everyone that's on here who are members or considering being membership, this has been a blessing for me. Miss Lisa, Sister Beth, welcome me and uplift me. But it's been a blessing for me because I've learned so much of this lady and her family. She has just an amazing family. They are always there with her and perpetuating her vision. Um, and the always thing is, I never, what attracted me to GCBN is putting God back in business, and that's been always my mantra. Every year when Sister Beth does have a different new theme for each year, I was telling Miss Lisa that each year when we go to the banquet and she unveils the theme for the upcoming year, I look at the theme and I apply it to how we can apply it to our practice here, not just the practice, but in life. I've started off as a member, and as Sister Beth said, I was one of the first members, and I got introduced to her by when I used to go to my church, go to church, Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Lawrenceville. She came to a meeting, and my wife was at the meeting, and I just purchased the practice. And my wife met Sister Beth, and she says, Julius, this young lady started something. I think this is going to be a good thing for you. And it's one of the best things I've ever done. I believe in GCBN. I've grown from being just a member to a sponsor. So I do ask those who right now, and this is not prompting from Lisa, Miss Beth, if you have thought about being a member, don't hesitate on the decision. You are going to be blessed, sincerely blessed, sincerely blessed. And for those who have been members, take the next step and support this because this undergirding doesn't happen by osmosis. It
Mm.
requires time, efforts, labor, and finances. So it's an investment that I really truly believe in. And when it comes time, I don't even hesitate in doing it. Because I'm in Gainesville now, I don't have a chance to get down to all the meetings
Mhm.
because we have a pretty big, busy practice, but I still support them in love, in prayers for them, and whatever financial I can do as a corporate sponsor. So I do encourage everyone, not prompted from GCBN, but my honest ask is to definitely support GCBN, both in terms of your finances, but also in your support and things you can give back to her to help this continue to be a blossoming, vibrant organization.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. That was not prompted.
Not prompted, absolutely, no.
In fact, you totally caught me off guard, and I'm totally grateful. I have to fight a few emotions here because when I think back to where we've been, where he brought us from, what
Yes,
he's done, and then I look at where we are today. And then what I have to tell you is that you and Miss Susan are still here. So that speaks volumes to me, that someone believes in you. Someone believes beyond speaking, they believe, but they show up and he just renewed his membership. I don't know, you probably know, Rose knows. Just recently, I know I've seen it, but thank you. Thank you. Because it's a cause. And you said something that I'm still way back there. Your reason, your why is two things you've said. And I'm gonna let you get into your presentation, but you started it. But you said when you heard putting God back in business, you want to be a part of that. We started off networking with a greater vision, but then very quickly after that first year, God said, putting him back in business. And he did that through Burke Allen, who is also a corporate sponsor like yourself.
yes.
The second thing that you said is the theme for the year. That blessed me tremendously that you lead that gala with whatever that theme is and look for opportunities to how you can apply it personally and professionally. I'm done for the day. You can say whatever else you want to after that, but those two, I am done. I'm flat out done, uh, because that's the whole, you affirmed me. You spoke in life into me even right now. And because the new, and Lisa knows it because the team knows that the word already has been, and I'm trying to contain it. Somebody told me after the NACWE meeting last week that they know what the word of for next year is because of the way I was speaking about something. And target, on target. So I'm going to be careful how I say it because I don't want to be premature. I want to finish up what God has given us for this year.
Yes.
And for you to say that last year, you look, you take it. I'm done. I'm just here today. I'm
Oh,
just here.
please don't just me. I need you to direct me.
Today, I'm telling you, this is God. This is nothing but God. Absolutely nothing. Okay. All right. Dr. Skeete, what else is what I'm gonna say? I'm not gonna say what do you have for us today. What else do you have for us today?
Well,
Speak,
just
sir.
to kind of, look at the using the theme for GCBN stand, and that's kind of the gist of my message today, standing in the eye of storm. I tried to apply the theme, as I said, to the practice and to the message. And again, I'm not a professional speaker, so folks forgive me, but I'm just going to take this from a standpoint of how I've applied this to my life and to the practice. I guess when I think of the term stand, the way I kind of prayed about and thought about it is that, when you stand, you have your feet planted, you have to have a firm foundation. You want to weather the storm. So to have to weather the storm, you have to have that foundation set. Now, as a business owner, you have to also be flexible because things change. But while they can shift and change, you have a foundation. You don't get away from that foundation. And part of that foundation to me is to understand that I've been blessed to be in this capacity because it's the Lord's willing. I look at myself as doing his will. He's put me in this position. I'm blessed with this. So we try to do it the best that we can. Not perfect, but my staff and I know we try to do the best we can, take care of our patients, and just watch after each other, because I always tell my team, we're here in a day more hours waking than we are with our family. So not only we have to focus on respecting, loving each other, but also taking care of our patients. Now, when I think about standing, and my wife is amazing. She's probably one of the most wisest people I ever know. And again, she was the one that introduced me to Sister Beth. But one thing that I've taken from her, because I've learned so much from her, but for our two daughters, the foundation that she's put in them is she tells the girls, and they're young lady, they're women now, to maintain, stand firm in your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. Those are the three areas that she wants, that she recommends that they do: mental, physical, spiritual. So I want to kind of break that down in terms of taking a stand. I like to look at those three things. So starting off with the physical. For me, as a healthcare provider and optometrist, I'm very passionate about good eye health. And in our mission statement, we even have on our site that, the eye is the window to the body, and the Lord has entrusted us with this vessel. So we have to take a stand and take the opportunity to take good care of this vessel. I always tell people that, having a yearly eye exam is so important because the eyes can tell us so much about the body. I had a lady, the other day, where when you look at people's eyes, I can't even tell if the person was born premature, because when babies are in incubation, the vessels in the back of the eye become tortuous or windy. So I looked at this young lady's eyes about a month ago and I said, "You were probably born premature." How did you know that? So I said, because I can see it. And I showed that to her on the pictures, because the other thing that we have in our practice, we have a test called the Optimap. And I don't have any financial incentive with them. But I love this test, and Sister Beth and her family has done it, where we can take a picture of the back of the eye. And I love it because patients can see what we see. Other than our faith, 80% of what we learn comes from what we see. That's why vision is so critical. So we have this test because we can show people in the eye. We can pick up diabetes, cancer. We can pick up autoimmune diseases like lupus. We have a lot of people that have to take a medicine called plaquenil. So we have to check the back of the eye for toxicity from plaquenil, because while it's good to control the autoimmune condition, it can also cause damage to the eye, affect the vision. So with that knowledge, that's why, in terms of that standing, we have to stand firm in taking care of our bodies. And of course, since the eyes are my livelihood, that's the area that I really focus on. So, I try to impress upon people that it's very important that they do have an annual eye examination. Kind of what's funny is that, as we all know, the time is not always our best friend. There's so much stimuli, there's so much things that we're having to do. So the thing then, I'm not trying to be rude, but people say, "Well, Doc, yeah, I missed last year because, time got past me." So my take is that my office, because I'm next to a lens crafters, we're all open 362 days of the year. So other than Christmas, Eve, and Thanksgiving, there's a way to get on in. Unfortunately, because my wife won't let me do 362 days of the year any longer. But I think we have to be intentional. We have to stand firm in making sure that we take care of this vessel. So I think when we talk about the physical, taking care of that is important. I think the other thing too that's being challenging for patients, and this is going on a site for a tangent, but I think the other thing is basically having access to healthcare. We do have to be intentional that, it's kind of hard, but one thing good about eye exams, they're probably one of the most cost efficient ways to maintain something that's so important. They're not exorbitant. Many people think, "Oh gosh, well, I don't want to spend a gazillion dollars on buying new glasses." Well, you don't have to do glasses. Many people's prescriptions don't change every year. And you can be creative and just put your new prescription in a new frame. But the key thing is just getting eye health check, not waiting till something happens, because typically if you're not proactive and you're retroactive, it's much harder for your optometrist, your eye doctor like me that does primary care, or your ophthalmologist who's your surgeon, to be able to kind of adjust for things. And since we're living longer, we're basically succumbing to more conditions, maybe things that were basically under the radar. But now that we have better technology to find them, it's better to find them early than to wait till they take a foothold onto the back of the eye. So standing firm in your health, your
One,
physical health.
one thing that I want to interject that is so such a visible opportunity and gives visibility to life and vision is that the eye, you said you even have it, is the window to the soul.
Mhm.
You've taught me that. I don't know that I comprehended greatly that scripture because there's a scripture related
Yes. Mhm.
to that. And because the vision for your business is going to determine the the is it viability or the strength of your vision of your business is
Yes.
going to be determined by your vision. And so I'm
Yes.
thinking the eye is the window to your soul. It gives insight into your mind, your will, your emotions, you know. And so now I'm thinking when you said that, as many times as I've heard you say it, it just gave visibility related to life and vision. Is your vision is going to determine the health. It's the opening to the health of your business, the health of your life is your vision. What does your vision look like? And you should have, like you said before the show, and or maybe you said it on the show, right on the show. You said you take that scripture, whatever the theme is. And that speaks to me because it's anointed of God. I know you and I know your study. I know Miss Susan. I know the opportunities. You're not just gonna, you can't just throw something at you and see if it sticks on the wall. It
Mhm.
has to be what you perceive to be anointed. And so for you to have said that you take what that theme is and look for opportunities to apply it for your personal and professional life. And so to me, when I'm thinking of, you know, the eyes is the window to the soul, that correlates to that to me. And so now Jeanette's made a discovery. She said, I was a patient at the Gwinnett Mall. Now I remember why I feel like I know him too.
I'm sure good to see you again. I can hear from you again. Yeah,
Oh,
that was us. We yeah, Gwinnett Place Mall changed quite a bit, and we wound up moving that practice to Peachtree Corners, and having the two practices was really challenging for me. And then what happened, and this is where I know the Lord is, well, I already knew that. Lord is good, is that we wound up selling that practice to a doctor who's doing amazing down there. He always says to me, Darsky, you're a blessing to me because it was a perfect fit for both of us. But the blessing for me was it happened right before COVID. And financially, I would not have been able to survive both practices during that time. So it was a win-win. So he's a good guy. He's succeeding in that practice. I'm here, happy with the location I'm at here. So it's been a blessing. But going back to Sister Beth, like I said, the vision is the same thing with business owners having a vision plan besides your mission statement, vision plan for your practice. And of course, each year we assess that because it may tweak a little bit. What I was looking to do back when I became a business owner in 2010 is totally different now. What I look at in 2025, and we're in a different practice. The healthcare has changed immensely. Insurances have changed. We have to be even more creative because many people think that the doctors are making tons of money, and they're not. People have to be creative in how they get access to healthcare. It's the type of thing that your plans change. How you deliver access to eye care and healthcare to people have to evolve, and so it's a constant having a good vision. And of course, the number one thing is I just pray about it every year. So when I go to look at the theme and how we tweak our mission statement, then we go to God and pray to help God give you direction and see that's the way He wants you to go. And sometimes He doesn't, so I have to rethink things. But that's why I like I said in the beginning, not to be repetitive. That's why when you started this, the whole concept of putting God back into business is so key. God is in my business. And I don't have any issues of saying that to people. I mean, not to be arrogant. And we've had times with patients coming in that you just break out and pray for them. And I mean, a lot of practices, this is my practice. I will pray. I don't have the lens practice is not, I don't work for them. I don't have anybody over me, But it's just that it's good to be able to do that. And we may think that that is something that seems commonplace or common sense. It's not. In our little small group, we were talking last night about a country in Africa called Benin. I never knew about this country, but one of the brothers in the group was saying how that people are persecuted by being Christians. And so in our country, we have the ability to practice, worship, pray. And so nobody's going to tell me in my business that I can't do that. But now going back to keeping on point with the whole thing now with the mental and the mental part of your health and taking a stand is basically, again, keeping God in your business, but standing firm in the challenges, because I've had many challenges in my business. You have challenges with people that are on your team that may not be on your team. They may not have the same vision that you have, and that's okay. I mean, it's okay. We give you an opportunity, but if you're not going to be, professional with patience or be willing to humble yourself, because some people come into eye exams and they're very nervous. I had a gentleman last week that came in. He's a diabetic like me. I'm a diabetic. So he came in diabetic, and unfortunately I feel bad for him because he had have one of his toes amputated. And the prognosis for his extremities in that area is not really good. So I was worried about his, toe, Mr. So-and-so, hey, how you doing? I see how the foot. He goes, Dr. Skeete, I don't care about that. You need to tell me what my eyes are doing, because people are very passionate as diabetics, not to trivialize the extremities, but they'll be okay, not really okay, but they can accept losing a toe, losing a finger, but not losing their vision. So it's very passionate that we have to, educate patients. And so if I have team members that don't have that vision, then that's somebody that may not be on my team. But going back to, again, the whole thing of standing, you're going to get challenges as a business owner with staffing. We're in a different culture now. People don't have the same kind of, how can I say that, they may have the same incentive that you do, or you're dealing with vendors who, now you have to be careful because everything is so upcharged. You have to do your due diligence and checking your vendors. So part of taking a stand is your mental health, because as a business owner, it's very stressful. You'll have days. I mean, I love my patients, but there's some days, Lord, give me strength. Okay. So, those are the things that you take a stand on. But if you know that God is in your business and you're going to put him first, and you know that he's going to help you weather the storms, you're going to be okay. But you have to have that faith and foundation that he's there, even in your darkest moments, he's there.
Dr. Ski, you're so onto something because you are aware about Wellness Wednesday follows Transformation
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yes.
And that's our podcast with the LCSW Pamela and Jessica Banner, therapist, and Christine, clinical counselor, and myself,
Mhm.
as an executive coach. But one thing that I love about your practice, because I've been with you for years, since
Yes.
I knew that I needed to go get my eyes checked, you know. So we've been through some things, I thought I was going blind once, many years ago, because I had to get,
And our dry eye conversations.
yes, yes, dry eye conversations. And then when I had to have my prescription changed and it got increased, that I needed at that time, just bifocals. I don't even know how many focals I have now. Points
The
of
progressives, yes. We talked
progressive
about
is
that
what
too.
they name it after so long, I guess, after so many. But one thing that I'm hearing from Lisa Stringer Bailey over on the Facebook side, thank you, Lisa, is I absolutely love his practice. So thorough and patient with my jumping eyes. And you know, that may be her case, but I've been through some things with my eyes, and thank you for sharing that, Lisa. And she said, Dr. Skeet is my eye doctor, met him through GCBN. So I'm taking that. Two things I want to say to that is I've been through so much with my eyesight, and he has been patient with me the whole time. Even when I thought something was happening, woman of faith, And I went to him, he checked me out, he sent me to the next level of expertise in eye doctoring. I don't know, it's not an ophthalmologist, is it? Was
It
it?
was an ophthalmologist, yes, yes. Mhm.
And but he told me before I went, I'm gonna get it right this time. He was 99% certain that there was nothing for me to worry about. But because he wanted me, he did it for me, not for him, but for me. And sure enough, all that time, all that dilating, went to the visit. They said, did a follow up. They said immediately what he said. But they said, come back. I think I went back another time just to make certain. And sure enough, there was nothing. And he told me that, but he was patient. It wasn't just discounting what I was feeling or what I was thinking. It was, let me hear what you have to say, but let me educate you. And so, to the second point that Lisa brought out, and she said, I met him through GCBN, and it's our pleasure to promote Dr. Skeete. My husband and I make a day out of it. We schedule our appointments together. We go to Dr. Skeete's office, and there are some amazing restaurants that are around in the area. In fact, we went on our anniversary
Anniversary, yes, that's
and you
right.
referred us to a very nice restaurant in downtown. Okay, you had your Christmas celebration for your team and your
Yes, ma'am.
family, you
Yeah.
and your wife had, and it was so nice. It was really, really nice. And so I want to encourage you as members or community of Georgia Christian Business Network that someone skilled, someone seasoned, and someone that loves the Lord to look at your eyes and to care for your eyes would be Dr. Ski. It's worth the drive if you're local here. And like Lisa said, that's my eye doctor, and I met him through GCBN. Let me tell you what else. GCBN members get a discount on one of a couple of services. So you just know that that's unusual and we value him. And what my sister was telling me about a month ago or so, maybe a little bit longer, I'm not sure, that she had come to get her eyes checked and she had missed her appointment or something. She went to the bathroom and was going to reschedule, but she ran into Dr. Skeete on her way from the bathroom. And she said, and he talked to me, he was so personable and everything. And she said, do you know he fit me in that day? And I'm like, oh my goodness, that was awesome. So you're amazing. People are talking about you, even though you don't know it. Continue to do the work. And then the last thing, and I'm handing it back to you, is what you're saying about staffing and the mental piece of standing firm. We're learning. And as I said, Wellness Wednesday backs this, but we're learning that business ownership, even for Christians, can be so challenging. We have our own challenges. We're trying to walk the word. We're trying to walk the word in a world that doesn't respect the word of God.
Yes. Yeah.
And but we are determined to be true to his word. And therefore, that alone is going to cause some opposition because we know that who's roaming the earth, seeking whom he may devour.
Yes.
But we know that God is looking forth. He's roaming the earth, looking to whom he may be able to show himself strong on their behalf.
Yes.
And for you to say in the midst of all you've been through and still yet successful, that there's going to be times that there are going to be people on your team that are not in agreement with you. And it's okay to let it go.
Yes. Yeah.
Let it go, you know, let it bleed out. Let that thing go, you know, and allow God to send you people. I can honestly say I'm so grateful. Now, have I been through some things? Yeah, but I have the best team ever because what you do in your practice, of opening up for prayer and things like that, you have people on your staff that I've seen for years. Okay. Pure love. They may not even know it's pure love. They may not know that they're serving you out of kindness and because of how you respect the office. But that speaks volumes to me about who you are as a leader. My team is so important to me. How I pray for them, who's around me in my space, because when you're in leadership like you are, and Miss Susan, everybody can't come in your space. Know that. I'm gonna let you do your last point, but I have to tell you, your mental capacity and protection is important. How you protect it is going to enlarge that capacity.
Real quick, picking up the second and I'll do the third so we can close out. But again, like you said, not that I have to, but I want to. I like to undergird GCBN. So if people are members. Like I said, we do a GCBN discount for the folks that do come in. Now, the new office is actually closer to the interstate. So it's a lot easier to get here, just right off 95. But now going back to that whole thing about the mental health, as a business owner, you are bombarded with so many different things on day-to-day operation, planning for the future. So I've been very blessed because in addition to having Susan being such a good, my partner, I wouldn't be able to do the things I do without her. And she gives me such support and guidance, and my daughters are amazing. But I've also been blessed. The young lady who's my administrator, she and I have worked together now going on 20, I guess all 23 years I've been here, Miss Jaritza Rosado, she's amazing. And I think what happens, my major issue in the beginning is I tried to do everything myself. So with lots of prayer and trust and working together, I've learned to delegate things, which can sometimes be hard for a business owner. So that's something that I've learned to do, but I've had, so she has been with me for 20 years, and that speaks volumes because to have someone stay with you that long. My manager here actually was with us for a couple of years. She left to kind of, expand because in terms of what we do as optometry, we do are primary care providers, but ophthalmologists do the interesting stuff. They do the surgery and all that type of fun stuff. So she wanted to spread her wings, but she got out there and realized, I think I need to go back home. So she's coming back to us. So my leadership is really, really good. So I have everything have managed on the home front and everything on the professional front. And as I said, again, not to be a know-it-all, but I think part of having your success in your business is having a good team that you trust and that supports you. And you have to be willing to work with them and let them grow by helping them make suggestions and suggest things because we don't know everything as business owners, and we have to be humble to understand if you have a good team you trust and they have good ideas, go with them because they can only make you better. But that's again vetting people great from the beginning and making sure that they have the same vision as you have to be successful. I will go to the last thing,
But
which is
before you do, I have to just say, and you get ready, but I have to say something about trust. I love it that you spoke that when you did it because you're telling my story actually. Is Lisa probably smiling over there? She's probably saying, mm-hmm, that's her. Because I did when I met her, when God sent her, you hear me? Sent her. Know when God's sending people to you. And don't be afraid because part of it is trust. Am I going to trust? And don't be basing it upon what happened in the past. Well, so and so, I let so and so in, and then they didn't do it, or they left me high and dry, or they didn't follow through, or they didn't have my best interests, or they told everybody what was going on. Mm-mm. Trust that God sent them. When God sends them, you can trust them because they have your heart. It's not like just taking anybody off the street. So I wanted to highlight that and I'm gonna let you finish. But I really want to highlight learn to trust, but only those that God sends,
yes,
and you'll know.
you will know, you will know.
And so who is this? Lisa said, yes, I did a discount. As your money motivator, I'm about saving money. You know, that's her business.
Nothing wrong with that. But the last one I would say is this is more also business and personal, is standing on your spiritual health. And that's something I'm still growing on. Like I said, what attracted me initially to GCBN is to be in an organization where the focus is God. Definitely in my infancy, I've learned that I'm only doing this by the grace of God. It's not me. And I'm still growing in that generally, just only not only professionally business. But as I said, we have no qualms in our practice. Just take a moment and stop. We can have 5 patients waiting in another room, but if that person has some issues, we're just going to stop and pray for them. And I don't have a problem doing that. So I think it's okay to have a good prayer life, not only in your home, but in your business. Other thing too that I think for my spiritual health is there are days again when I get discouraged, challenged, but I know who I belong to. So, on my way into the office, I'm a big sports fan. I love football, NASCAR. I have the Sirius XM. I know I should be listening to some, Christian music, but I sometimes, I'll be having my sports programs on, but I'll get to a moment, a stop sign. I'm like, I didn't have my engagement with the Lord, or I have something heavy in my heart. Sirius XM sports channel goes off, and you have that relationship in the car with God or in the office. So I think that's growth. I didn't do that in my infancy, but I know now I wouldn't be doing this. And I've always wanted to do this. And I've had so many challenges going through, and I look back in retrospect, and it's all by the grace of God. So maintaining that, but you just can't sit on your laurels. So, we're at a very powerful church. We go to Victory Church, Hamilton Mill, and we're in a small group. And we fellowship last night. And it's just it's just an amazing small group because, we're going through life. But we all know when we get to a challenge, we know we have the word, and we know, and we're doing this series about the family and how everything in raising children. Pastor said, you don't need to have Dr. Spock tell you how to raise your children. You got the word of God right there. That'll tell you everything you need. So, standing on my my prayer life, and growing in that, because I still think that's the thing you continue growing in, but I have more appreciation of it, I'm more aware of it. And I'm just happy about that because I feel good about that. My relationship is growing and growing and growing and growing, and it just makes me feel good. So that's my
That is
spiritual
so
stand.
good. And I believe this last quarter is preparation to propel us into where God is really requiring that we go in 2026. And
Mhm.
part of that, seeking the Savior in solitude, the essence stand, is learning how to gird up your loins with truth, because we learned this year that transforming truth is what trumps that temptation. And walking out our assignment, knowing that we are anointed and appointed for the assignment that God has called us to. I'm not anointed to be an optometrist, okay? But I'm anointed to do and to lead GCBN and God's People Ministry. Where I fall short, I've got to assure up that understanding is that it's God's vision, His provision in whatever area of my life, okay? Nurture, nourish, and normalize the nature of God within. I mean, like you said, it's your practice. We got to act like we know God. We got to love like we know God.
Yeah.
Not so much that we love like we never been hurt. We have been, but love like God, like we know Jesus. We know how to love when we can say, "Forgive them, Father," when we're nailed to that cross, for they know not what they do. We got to get real about our relationship and our faith in God, that we're daring, we're discerning, we're determined, we're disciplined, we're devoted to the cause of our faith. And I'm telling you, God is wanting to take us to another place. I almost said it again, to a higher place. And one of the things you mentioned is about children and family. And we're talking about that on our Wellness Wednesday platform. Had a brief meeting with Pamela Bridgman, our leader on Wellness Wednesday this morning. And there's a subject that I wrote about. Wait, what? Children are a blessing or a gift? And it's in this Wellness Wednesday book, Wells of Wisdom book that the Wellness Wednesday team, we did it. It's an anthology. And each one of us have several devotions in the 1 to 31. And if you can take it as a plug if you want to, that's fine. Go to Amazon and grab a copy. But the opportunity that I mentioned it, that you're telling me in your small group at Victory, and how about that? That's our entire series for the entire month of October is family. And when I tell you, we have got to do some work. The men of GCBN, Lisa's going to close us out in just a minute because I'm going to have to leave, but I could not miss this call today. It was so urgent and so important that I be here. First of all, my friend, is some things you just have to be at. Dr. Skeete, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. And I thank you for all you've done for us. I thank you first for your relationship with God. I think that's important, but I thank you for your godly wife that is so secure in who she is.
Yes.
That she said, that lady starting something. See, women, listen.
Yes.
Listen. And she saw an opportunity to not only bless her husband, their business, but to support another woman. I mean, I'm like, God, and I've heard this over and over again, but that's where we got to get to. I still get my head around that because that's where we got to get to as women of God and as men of God to step up and take that leadership opportunity. Listen to your wives more. I mean that sincerely. I'm not trying to put a plug for because you've got to hear them. And then you walk out the wisdom and you put it before God. And look at how the beauty of your business, because you told me, you told the whole GCBN platform, she's one of the wisest women that you know. That's what men need to say about the wives when she is nowhere around. She's usually on our call, but she's not here today. I'm gonna try to make sure she knows that's what you said. You know,
Okay, will do.
I
I
know her.
get, I get,
I
I
know her
get
cell
points.
phone number. I know her cell phone number. I'll get you the points. But I'm just excited about how God is doing this. That's health. That's healthy in relationship. That's healthy in business. And where we've got to get to as Christian business owners and professionals that are focused, determined, and intentional to put God back in business is look for the opportunity to give more than we receive. And that's all I got to say about that. You know, thank you so much, Dr. Skeete. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
turn it over to Lisa. She'll get you some final points. I thank you guys for being here today over here on Zoom with us. Jeanette, I've got Susan on my mind. Jeanette, thank you so much. Thank you for over on the Facebook side of the house and for my dear faithful team member, my friend. She takes care of me. Rose takes care of the business. And Chrissy and I and Jessica, we just do the best we can. Okay. All right. Trissy's got community prayer too. She's got that handled. But we're here for you all. Love you guys. Take care. And
Take care.
Dr. Skeete will be in touch. Okay.
We'll do. Thank
December
you.
5th. Put it on your calendar. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, Beth. Thanks, Dr. Skeete. Well, I'm going to take over the screen here and share some of our events that we have going on. This is just an easier way for me to be able to share it, not forget anything, and for you to be able to know that we have a Facebook page. Come over here to GC, or actually it's Georgia Christian Business Network, LLC. For our Facebook page. We also have a Facebook group. So you can check us out there. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope so.
Yes.
So Miss Beth just mentioned December 5th, that's our gala. So this year we're celebrating 15 years of GCBN. So this year we're going all out. We're going to be at a different venue. It is going to be at the Embassy Suites in Duluth. It's by the Gas House Arena. That, if you guys are familiar with that, that's where it's going to be. So check that out. You can get your tickets now. You can also reserve a room at the hotel. We have blocked off about 15 rooms for those. Some are traveling out of town. My husband and I are going to try to be there. And so make sure that you contact the hotel. The code for that is GCB. No N, but you can tell them it's GCBN, but they just gave us a code of GCB. So that's something that we want to make sure that we tell you. You're going to want to get those quickly before they book out. And then you can get your ticket. We also have the expo going on. So if you have, if you want to do a vendor opportunity there, or if you know of somebody who has a product or a good that they would like to serve with us, check out the expo, send the information there. So I do want to highlight, we have our GAPA awards that we're going to be presenting. That is the God Has a Plan award. And we created that a couple of years back, and that's been super fun to present at the gala. We also have a segment that we're going to have called Take Us Back. And so we're going to go over the 15 years of GCB. And there's, Dr. Skeete and Miss Beth already mentioned like way back when it started. And so we're going to have some stories. We're going to have some people that you're going to probably, you probably never heard about, but you're going to hear some of those stories. And so we're excited about that. Our keynote speaker is Dr. Randy Ross. We had him at an event a couple of years back, but he is a dynamic speaker. He is an author. He's a trainer, a coach. And so I'm going to just read a little snippet of him. Best-selling author, culture craftsman, and inspirational speaker for world-class brands like Delta Airlines, Chick-fil-A, and GE Appliances. Of course, we have our expo as well. And that is going to be December 5th, 6 to 10:30. So get your tickets. Okay, the next event that we're having, we want to make sure we highlight this. Let's see. In date order would be this one right here, Men of GCBN. It's the platform takeover. And I love that our guys come on and they take over the platform. We have some dynamic men in our organization. Dr. Skeete spoke with you today. We have so many other men who are doing great things for God and putting God back in business and in their communities and their churches and their organizations. And so we're just excited to be able to bring them on the platform. They're going to completely take it over, and they're going to run the show for 2 days. We have a Friday night and a Saturday that they're going to be taking over. I think of Mr. Morrell Anderson down in Middle Georgia, which is actually where we are at right now. We're visiting, and he and I were co-chapter coordinators for Middle Georgia, and he's dynamic in his own right. And I just, every time I think of Men of GCBN takeover, I think of Mr. Burrell. And so come and check it out. You can get your tickets. Sorry. You can get your tickets on our Eventbrite link. It's on our Facebook page. You can check that out there. We did see Dr. Skeete today. There is another one. Oh, let's go up here, right here. This is it. This is something that Beth loves to do every year. And I love that she does this. It's a give back, right? GGG is a big part of that. So our ticket sales, our vendors and things that come in for GGG, a portion of the funds that come in for that, it goes back to this organization or to this cause. And so GCBN gives back every single year. And this year, Beth has a huge number. $10,000 are going to be going to organizations within our community that are putting God back in business and are doing great things for God. Now, there's tons of organizations that are doing great things for God, but these are organizations that Beth has vetted. These are organizations that have been an impact personally to her and her family, and even just organizations that we've known just in GCBN that are connected with us. And so you can check that out here. If you are a GCBN sponsor, you get to come and it's a dinner for you, like a luncheon. And then you can help us celebrate. Now, if you're looking to sew into this organization or to this cause, not the organization, it's GCBN is our organization, right? I'm losing my words because my child is screaming in the background. But for this community cause, you can still donate to that cause. So $10,000 is what we're giving. And I don't know that we're exactly quite there yet, but you can still sew into that. And you can do that. You can find out how to do that on our website. You can reach out to me. You can email info@gcbnetwork.com. You can email Rose. There's just lots of ways that you can do that. So if you're wanting to register for the luncheon and you're a GCBN corporate sponsor, you can do that now. And we're excited about that. So we always have our Monday prayer call that already took place yesterday. And I heard there were like 15 women on, and I missed it. And I'm kind of sad, but I'm excited that you guys were able to do that if you were there. And if you weren't, put it on your schedule for next week, Monday at 9 o'clock. Miss Chrissy McKee, I keep saying Miss Chrissy McKee, Beth, they do the call, and it's always so powerful. There's not promotions going on or things like that. It's just prayer, and it's just spending time with God and sharing your burdens. And it's a really intimate place. And sure, we want to share our prayer requests to God in private and even corporately, but this is just another avenue for you to be able to share your burdens. And if you have a prayer request, you can reach out to Chrissy at GCBnetwork.com. Chrissy at GeorgiaChristianBusinessNetwork.com, and you can share your prayer requests, and they'll be sure to pray for those. Tuesday next week, we have a pretty awesome lineup next week. Dr. Skeete, you started us off awesome here in October, but I'm going to find that file right fast if I can. I just saw it down here. Where was it? That's not it. You guys should check out our Facebook page. I know Katie is coming a week from next week. I just saw it and I can't remember who it is. I'm so sorry if it's you, but check out our Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday. We have Camille at the end of the month. We have Katie in between, and then there's someone next week, and it was so powerful. And I was like, don't forget to mention it, but obviously I've forgotten to mention it. We also have Wellness Wednesday. So check out Wellness Wednesday. And I think that's it for announcements. If you guys have anything, or you need anything, or you have questions about membership, maybe you know somebody who needs to be here in the room with you as a member or a sponsor, please share. Let us know. Send them our way. We'll answer any questions. We also have our website, gcbnetwork.com. You can find out membership information there, and you're welcome to share that. We also have our directory out there. So just like Dr. Skeete shared that he's giving a discount to GCBN members, several of our members or our sponsors and members offer that with their businesses too. So check that out, and you can check out who those are and through our directory. So we ask that you tune in tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday, and we will see you next time we see you. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Lisa. Bye, Michelle.
Take
care.
care.